What's up, everyone? CBK here, bringing you the Marvel Spider-Man podcast featuring News to Astonish, aka Ronnie. Welcome in, Ronnie. How are you doing, man?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. Really excited to be here and to talk about more of Marvel Spider-Man 2 and the upcoming possible showcase.
So this is episode 2 of our Marvel Spider-Man podcast. We planned on doing it maybe, every 2 weeks to 3 weeks? It's been a while since our first episode, now that I think about it.
Yeah, the first one was at the first week of August or so.
Okay, so we're not doing too bad. 2
Yeah.
in 1 month. You guys seem to really like the first episode, so thank you so much for watching that. That first episode was actually on News to Astonish's channel. If you want to go back and listen to that, and maybe this is your first time hearing about the podcast, you can definitely do so. But from what I saw, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of you guys seem to really like that podcast episode.
Definitely leave an annotation at the end of this podcast to go to the first one.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Not much has changed in the world of Marvel Spider-Man other than Marvel Spider-Man PC coming out, which the mods have been incredible. But other than that, there's not a ton of news going on. However, we do have the smallest glimmer of hope for Marvel Spider-Man 2. The current rumors are that we could get a PlayStation showcase on September 8th. Was it 8th? Yeah.
September 8th is the current rumor. I actually did a video about this really recently, like about 3 days ago. And right now it's only been a rumor and there's nothing that can really validate that. Like there's nothing that has been substantiated.
Yeah.
But that is just the consistent ongoing rumor right now. And it's kind of bizarre because we're already approaching September. We're literally about 2 days away from September 1st. And Sony, usual, they're playing coy and they're not saying anything, and it's really frustrating and it's just driving me crazy, and I'm starting to get the itches and sweats, man. I swear, you know what I'm talking about if you saw the first podcast, you guys.
Yes. Okay, so every time when I post a video on my channel, half the comments are like, I can't wait for another trailer, when's another trailer coming out? Everybody is dying with anticipation for another trailer. And
I mean, dude, I got that long rubber band ready, tight, wrapped around my arm. I got the needle. I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Inject us. No, so the rumor is the 8th. There was a small report or scoop out there that the guy who got this report heard from somebody who heard from 3 other people that it was definitely happening on the 8th. So do with that information what you will.
So it's from this guy who knows these other dudes?
For sure. But we can look at, you said you did a video on this whole thing. I did a video recently. You can look at Sony/PlayStation's history with the showcase, and the current trend is they usually do a showcase by mid-September of each of the past few years. I think 2020 it came out around September 14th, 15th, and then last year they did one, I want to say, on the 9th. And they typically announce a date for a showcase around a week before the event's going to take place. So if it is on the 8th, all eyes are pointing to this Thursday, because that will be September 1st. So I'm assuming if they're going to have a showcase, they're going to announce it probably by September 1st to give a week of anticipation for it.
That seems to be pretty consistent. And actually, you know what? If you really think about it, a lot of showcases, and as far back as I can think of, the past 6 years, they have been in September, but not always on the 8th. No. They've always been, sporadically throughout the entire month. If you think back to I think the original showcase with the first Marvel Spider-Man was first shown.
Yeah.
That was on September 27th, 2016. So I think that's the date that it was on, if I recall correctly. Mm. And if it's not September 8th, then my money's on the last week of September. And I think Sony PlayStation will make an announcement probably on the 1st about that showcase. So there's a possibility that it can be at the end of the month, which can really suck. But, it gives me a lot of time to prepare, maybe submit some vacation hours for my job.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the sooner the better for sure, because they have some, PlayStation exclusive games coming out fairly soon. You got God of War coming out in early November. So I think, the marketing definitely needs to ramp up for that. And hopefully there will be some gameplay for that. I'm looking forward to that game,
Yeah.
as well as Marvel Spider-Man 2. If they release something for Marvel Spider-Man 2, what are you hoping for? The trailer? Gameplay?
Well, if the first trailer was just a minute and a half teaser, then I'm hoping for, like, I would settle for either an official trailer or an actual gameplay trailer. Maybe perhaps 7 minutes, 8 minutes long,
Yeah.
tops.
I should say that in that rumor, they did state that the reason why it would take place on the 8th is because PlayStation wanted to get a jump ahead of Disney's
23.
D23 Marvel Games
Yeah.
panel.
Yeah.
So maybe you could have one thing on, maybe you have gameplay for the showcase, and then maybe the next day they do another trailer, or vice versa for
Well,
D23.
knowing PlayStation, they definitely don't want this opportunity taken from them.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man's their baby, and they know people will go crazy. They're gonna go bonkers for Spider-Man if they show that in the showcase. And to plan it on the 8th, a day literally before the events of D23, it's perfect. Like, it's perfect coordination. Like, it's a great tactic. It's a great business tactic.
Yeah, for sure. Just get ahead of that competition, even though they're kind of competing against themselves at that point.
In a way, yeah, in a manner of speaking.
I have a question for you. This can
Yeah.
be a highly debatable topic.
Yeah.
If they do show another trailer or some gameplay, do you think that they should show off the symbiote suit in it?
No, honestly, no. If at best we should probably get a little teaser of the suit, but not the full thing.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with Insomniac Games and PlayStation playing coy with us like this. I mean, they're already doing it as we speak, and I can say we've had enough, but I still want to be surprised
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of us already have expectations about the black suit
Yeah.
already as it stands. I mean, what's a Venom storyline, especially if he's being introduced for the first time in this universe of Spider-Man? What is a Venom storyline without the black suit first?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
a lot of people, some people are adamant about that, like, or they think or they swear that it's not going to happen this time.
no. Black suit's definitely happening, 100% for sure. I would like to see some Venom in some sort of gameplay or the trailer. Like, I would like to see like a full, shot of him entirely as opposed to just his face. And I would like to
Yeah.
see some Craven as well. And then I want to see some, like, Miles and Peter dual takedowns in combat, stuff like that. Those are like probably the three things I would like to see the most. I'm fine with them holding off on the black suit and us just waiting for the game to come out.
We definitely got a teaser of all of those things in like the first trailer.
Yeah.
With Craven's voice and then Venom's actual look, but not the full look, like just neck up. I would like to see the spider logo on him, and also I would love to see a size comparison. I would like to see just how gargantuan is really Venom in
For
this
sure.
game compared to Spider-Man. Maybe like have a shot of Spider-Man and Miles like standing in front of Venom, and then like it pans out and you'll see like the actual size of Venom.
Right.
Just something like I want to see something like that. And
Absolutely.
there's just so much more that they can deliver. All I know is that I can indeed confirm that actors like Tony Todd, Yuri Lowenthal, and the rest of the cast of the Spider-Man franchise, they have been working for such a long time on this game. Like, they've already teased us with some mocap shots and pictures on their Instagram. Tony Todd has done plenty of research on the Venom character to, like, work on his performance. He's been doing mocap as well. So they've been working, and it's been a couple years since. I mean, it's been a year since the actual teaser trailer reveal, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they've been working on this game for the past couple of years. So
Yeah.
they ought to show something.
Probably a solid 2 to 3 years they've been working on this. I feel like they're probably just about done, if not already done, with all of like the motion capture stuff, because I'm starting to see less of Tony Todd posting about it. It seems like he's always doing some other project nowadays, like doing some plays or whatever it may be.
Right.
He's doing something else now. I mean, like, he's definitely not working on Spider-Man right now, so maybe his part is done, and that'd be a good sign because they're probably nearing the the point in production where they're just focusing on gameplay and like implementing all of the stuff that they've captured into the game, and hopefully that machine is churning and this game has a smooth development.
It seems like nowadays, like Marvel properties in general, seems to like blow up people's careers.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony Todd is a legendary actor. I mean, people
Yeah.
know him as Candyman and other performances like in Final Destinations. Like those movies scared the living hell out of me. I'll tell you that.
For sure.
But I think after this, Tony Todd's name's gonna blow up, and we'll probably see even more of him in like more video games, hopefully. But
so.
yeah, I mean, I never would have thought Tony Todd never came to mind when I thought about who would make a great Venom nowadays. But I'm like, oh yeah, Tony Todd. He was Zoom in the Flash, so he's got a great voice for Venom, and he's really he reminds me a lot of Venom from the actual animated series, based on how he talks and how he enunciates things, and like how he says certain things. So I'm like, that's really cool. That was an amazing casting choice.
Yeah. The best part is like he's super passionate about the character, and whenever actors get cast into a comic book role for whatever it may be, movies or games, I get way more hyped for that project when the actors are super excited about the character that they're playing,
Oh my god, it'd be a dream. I would love to play random pedestrian #1 on the city streets.
It's like if I was cast that to happen.
Yeah, if I was like cast as that, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I'll be like freaking out right now.
Yeah, I mean, what's it gonna take for us to get into Marvel Spider-Man 2 as a random civilian? Like, who do we need to contact?
I'd be knocking on like the casting director's doors at Insomniac HQ and be like, listen, if you need me to play a pigeon, a dog, a mouse, a squirrel, I'm game. Just get me in the game, and then I'll keep it as the secret, and then when the game is released and people have played it and I've played it on my channel, I'm going to be like, yo, viewers, listen real quick. You see that squirrel at this part of town in Harlem? I play that squirrel. Squirrel number 36 eating that nut. That's what I played that squirrel. Yeah, I'm in the game. That's my contribution to voice acting right there.
Dude, you got me on the squirrel bandwagon now. At first, I was like, yeah, let's just get like me, you, Joseph Whitty, and like Evan, and
man,
all these. Let's just go hit up the rooftop and like play some random characters on a rooftop. But now I'm all in on this squirrel idea.
Freaking Evan can be a sky rat, like the pigeon from like Marvel Spider-Man, where you had to collect the pigeons.
Yeah,
and then because what's this hobo's name in the game that lets him loose again? Howard, yeah. So Howard can let him loose. Evan can be a pigeon. You can be a dog. And
are there any dogs in that game?
No, not that I know of. Joseph Whitty can probably play a cat.
No. I want to play the kid that loses his balloon, because we gotta do a throwback to that.
I will purposely keep the game finished at 95%, because that 5% was like failing to collect the balloons for the child.
You don't want to play my balloon DLC where I'm the star?
No, just go to the guy in the corner street and ask for another one. It's not my fault you keep losing that.
That's really heartbreaking for a lot of kids out there.
Yeah, I save lives, not balloons. Okay,
that's good stuff, man. I mean, like, I hope we make it into the game. We're probably not.
Oh my god, this is gonna have to be clipped into a short.
Okay, listen, Insomniac. If you guys can put a proposal into the first Spider-Man game, a failed proposal at that. I mean, sorry to that guy. I'm sure that was really heartbreaking. But if you could throw that into the game, I mean, you got to get some of the community in the game. Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome.
Well, a failed proposal is actually quite a good idea, because like you can actually have the option to fail missions on purpose, which would oddly enough allow you to complete the game and progress into the game further. Mm-hmm. So you can get like a message like task successfully failed. and somehow you complete the game. But anyways, I kid. I've been joking on too long, and like I've been getting on this bit like for too long already.
It was fun. I'm glad we had it.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, definitely.
I think we talked about that in the first episode too. So part 3 would be on the next episode. We're
of course, really begging. Yeah, definitely. I don't know what it is, man. But like, I think Insomnia Games is ignoring me. I got Yuri Lowenthal's attention on Instagram like a couple months ago, but he just refused to actually acknowledge me as far as that goes. It took other people for him to acknowledge my existence. He actually said "News to Astonish," and I was like, "Oh man!" He said it. He said my channel's name. So then people were asking him, "Hey, News to Astonish is trying to reach out to you for like an interview," and his response was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not really doing interviews right now at the moment. I'm currently busy."
Pain.
Damn, and I died. Like my heart sank.
That'd be heartbreaking. See, that's why I don't even ask, because I'm like, I can't deal with the rejection.
I mean, I only accepted it and I continue to follow his work because he's Yuri Lowenthal and Spider-Man.
He's the greatest, man.
Freaking Sasuke ignored my request. Listen, he voices Sasuke in Naruto.
The main purpose of this podcast, and the whole reason we have you guys here, is for you guys to just constantly bug Insomniac about getting us in the game. That's the whole purpose in us doing this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. And also to speculate more about Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. I guess we can hop into the listener/viewer questions. You guys sent in a lot of questions. Yeah.
Nice.
We're already basically halfway through the episode, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys sent in a lot of questions. I wish we could get to them all, but we'd be here all night long, and we are very tired human beings. So we'll get to the ones that we can, and yeah. So first question that we have comes from Just Infusion. Do you think we'll be able to use the symbiote suit in free roam when you finish the story?
I think we had this question in the first one,
Did we?
right? No, I could have sworn we did. I don't remember. It was a 30-something minute episode.
Now that you mention it, it does sound familiar. What did you say?
I do recall answering it. At first I said no, but then again, there's a possibility yes, because like, what if you're met with the option to make a choice?
Oh yeah, now I remember you talking about this.
But that sounds very Web of Shadowish.
I think that you should be able to, just for like reasons.
For gameplay, like New Game Plus. How about that?
Now, yeah. So now I remember my reasoning behind it. I was saying that you shouldn't have to go back and replay the whole game just so that way you can like play around with the symbiote suit.
Wait, I have an idea. Okay. So it's a double-edged sword here. So you beat the main campaign in the save file you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You do not get to use the black suit after the fact for that save file. However, in order for you to use the black suit again in another save file, you got to create a New Game Plus mode to use it from the beginning.
Sure, that makes sense.
Right. So you don't use the black suit. You don't have access to it anymore in that save file post game, but in another save file, New Game Plus mode, you do have access to it where you can use it from the very beginning.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. I dig it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And then once you beat the New Game Plus file in that main campaign, and then you have the option to still keep it because you had it since the beginning. Even though you got rid of it, quote unquote.
Yeah. I dig it for sure.
Yeah.
Next question is from Dustin Weber. What are some villains do you think will be in the game other than Kraven, Venom, and Lizard? I guess he's assuming that Lizard will be in the game. I'm not sure that's confirmed.
Dustin Weber, it sounds like a very familiar. I think that's a subscriber of mine.
Probably.
I recognize that name. Yeah,
I see Dustin a lot in my comments, which shout out.
Yeah. I've seen some of his comments. Yeah, man, how's it going, guy? Anyways, what villains do we think that's going to be in Marvel Spider-Man 2 besides Kraven, Lizard, and Venom? Well,
Listen,
I mean, Lizard's not exactly confirmed.
Yeah, Lizard isn't confirmed. Dr. Connors maybe confirmed.
Probably an appearance, yes, but like Spider-Man has dealt with the Lizard in like his previous years before his like year 8. Like, when you're collecting the backpacks.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility that we can see him again.
I would love it.
I think other symbiote characters are out of the question for now.
Yeah.
Because like there's no way we're gonna see like, Scream and Carnage and other villains. I mean, the focus will be taken away way too much away from Venom.
Yeah.
So
I'm still hoping for a Morbius DLC. That's just
Morbius,
something I would
yeah.
like to see.
Oh, the Morbid Time jokes are gonna come back when that happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of burnt out with those.
I'm actually hoping for Big Wheel.
You know, I feel like you mentioned that once before.
Yeah.
My dream villain, maybe for like a opening mission or something like that, would be Mysterio. Mysterio is one of
You
my
know what?
favorite
Yeah.
villains.
Every time I think about Mysterio, I think about like that mission where you got to go take down Mysterio at a convenience store in Spider-Man 2 from like 2004.
Classic.
Oh man. But yeah, I really want Mysterio to be very threatening, and with like the PS5's hardware, I'm pretty sure they can like play around with the idea of Mysterio like casting, fake spells or
Yeah.
doing some smoke and mirror tricks, and that'll look phenomenal on the
Bro, I mean,
PS5
like
hardware.
speaking of smoke and mirrors, when the first time I played Spider-Man PS4, I had the hardest time getting through that funhouse to chase the costume wearing
Really?
Mysterio. Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
Where
it
am I?
was a little jarring at first, yeah.
uh, um but yeah, another villain, little side villain could probably be Chameleon. Um
Yeah, but I think that's very DLC.
yeah. Ties to Craven obviously already, so that kind
Probably.
of makes sense.
Yeah, Craven could be a good candidate. But I was also thinking Tombstone's daughter.
Tombs I love the Tombstone side missions, by
Yeah.
the way. I just have to say
Yeah.
I love those. So I would not mind seeing like more of that but expanded on. So
But I
like
think
incorporating
it'll be a
his
side
daughter.
mission as well. Tombstone's daughter will come out of the woodwork and want to get revenge probably on Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Janice Lincoln,
Yeah.
aka known as the Beetle or Lady Beetle. Like I would love to see the Beetle as a villain.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean we need some more little smaller villains like Taskmaster type villains, you know?
Yeah, but we definitely don't want Screwball back because she like no, go away.
That's debatable. No, I'm kidding. I actually just started playing through the City That Never Sleeps DLC first time on the
Yeah,
PS5. And
it,
God, I
it-
got so annoyed when her voice popped up in the first chapter of the DLC.
yeah, so annoying.
Yeah, I
Isn't it
couldn't do
weird
this.
how like what I found really like bizarre or kind of weird? I feel like when I was playing the Spider-Man City at War DLC, the City That Never Sleeps, I think.
Yeah,
Uh, I found it to be kind of like an entirely different game because of like the tone is actually darker,
it is.
and they have the potential to be darker in the sequel.
Especially the second part. I did a video on this recently. Like, I did a video about Wraith, aka Yuri.
Yeah,
In that second chapter where the cop dies, man,
yeah.
that might have
When he
hit
gets
me
shot.
harder than Ame.
Yeah, like, and he was about to see like the moment I saw that he got that watch for his kid, I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is setting up something bad, man."
exactly. Well, it just like added a little bit more like personality to the cops too, which I would love to see more of in the next game. Other than you like swinging by cops and they're like, "Oh, we don't need your help here, Spider-Man." Like, I'd like to see some more personality just from pedestrians, cops, people on streets, whatnot.
That's always been like a consistent problem throughout every single Spider-Man game that ever was, like that there ever is. The NPCs, not that like you should really care about them, but my God, like they gotta insert some personality or at least realistic personalities in there and make it seem like, hey, you know what? These are people that you can actually see in the streets.
Yeah,
And also, as far as like their design goes, like the clothing that they wear, a lot of them, I can find 50 Joe Schmoes within like a block
yeah.
radius, and
Everyone's wearing the same color palette.
a lot of Jane Does too. I'm like, not everybody dresses like that in the
Yeah,
corner, especially when it's like hot during the day or if it's raining or whatever. And
definitely.
it's like, where are the children? Where are
Where
the
are the
the guys
children?
that where are like the casual goers, business attires? Like I see more
Street
business
performers.
duty kind of people, street performers as well.
Yeah.
It's like there's no variety. Like it's more or less the same kind of NPCs. So I'm like, New York is more lively than that. and New York has a wide variety of people.
Yeah.
So
Everyone looks
that's
like
what
they're dressed to go to their 9 to 5 job.
exactly, yeah. And I'm like, it's not like that. It's never that plain, and it's New York City we're talking about here.
Yeah. That's why I'm looking forward to like the PS5. I feel like they're really going to be
There's a
able to expand
possibility.
on that. They need to
Oh
give
yeah,
life to the city. Not that it didn't have life, but I mean, like, you can add more to the city to give it a little bit more flavor and personality.
yeah, exactly. I totally agree. They should definitely do that.
Next question. This comes from Eric Behrman. Do you think there will be any returning villains that are going to get a redesign like Rhino did in Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales? Essentially,
Oh
do you want
boy.
any returning villains?
Um, no, not so much actually. I mean, I think we've already had our fair share of like Electro score, like the usual
Yeah,
rogues. I want entirely new villains. I mean, the fact that we got Rhino to show up once again, that was cool, and
yeah,
also that was also expected. I mean, before I even knew Miles Morales was going to be a thing
yeah,
in as a game, um, I theorized that like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if they had a fight in like a sequel or like they had a
for
rematch,
sure.
and that was the opening act of Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I'm like, holy crap, they did it, they did it, they did what I theorized was gonna
Great
happen.
opening act, by the
Um,
way.
it was a wild ride. It's a fun opening act for sure.
Going through the mall is amazing.
I mean a redesign like a little touch up here and there maybe on Electro.
Yeah,
Uh, he looks pretty cool, but a little touch up would be nice,
yeah.
and maybe Scorpion, and that's pretty much it,
I think
probably.
like I think I'm good on most of the villains. I do want to see Doc Ock's story continue on, but not as Doc Ock. I would like to see just like Otto Octavius at some point. But I'm not sure it's going to be in this story. I mean, like this story is going to have a lot going on in it, and it's going to be tough to fit a lot of characters. So I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if they had the smaller villains here and there, like the Tombstones and like Taskmaster. You know, maybe a different villain to open the game up with, kind of like they did with Kingpin. Maybe the opening mission is just like Mysterio or whoever it may be. But I really would like this game to really focus in on Venom, the Symbiote, and Craven, and that's really it. Like that
Yeah,
would be the core
definitely.
pillars
But
of this game.
like always, though, we're probably gonna get some surprises that we weren't expecting. Like
Yeah,
just
that is true. Green
Mhm.
Goblin shows up for the third act. I'd be
I don't
pretty
know, man.
disappointed if that happened.
I'm still set on that on Green Goblin happening in the third game.
Absolutely. I'd be pretty
Like,
bummed out if they shoved him into this game.
no, man, they can't be pulling a Spider-Man 3.
No,
Like it has to. It's got to take its time. All good stories come with time. Good
absolutely.
time. Um, but it's like this theory that I keep coming back to, and I think it hits home. But after everything that's happened in Spider-Man 2, the post-credit scene should be dedicated to just Norman Osborn, like just fed up with everything, and he's just distraught and he's sad and he's
Yeah,
lost so many things, including probably his son, which is still a theory. I'm not spoiling anything.
yeah,
Um, he just goes like, I've had it. Like I gotta do this myself. I mean, me as like I failed as a mayor. I failed to get everybody in line and order. I'm just gonna do everything myself. He just injects himself, and we hear his cackle, and it just cuts to black, and it echoes in darkness. Like
oh yeah,
like that's the way it should probably end for me.
bro. That's
Not
gonna
like
get
Green
me
Goblin. He's gonna
too
do the
hyped.
worst to Spider Man. He's gonna be the worst, like the best worst villain. Like he's
Yeah,
gonna torture him.
that's gonna get me really hyped, and I don't know how I'll be able to like wait another 3 or 4 years for the third game. It's gonna be tough.
Maybe 5.
Oh man, I hope there's not a 5 year gap in between games.
I'll
I'm hoping that
I'll
this is just a one
probably
time thing because COVID and then switching consoles and all that stuff. I'm hoping that we're not going to be waiting another 5 years because I don't want to be 35 when the next game comes out or 36.
I'll be 37 probably.
God, we're
Still
getting
be in my
old.
30.
Um, Next question comes in from our friend Stealth Gamer 026. How do you think Peter and Harry will reunite within the story of the game? And what would the conversation be like after not seeing each other for so long?
You know what? That's a good story. That's a good story. That's a good question. That's actually something I never thought about as far as like, well, how do you pick up from like not seeing each other for so many
Stuff.
years
Yeah.
after a while? Like, how do you pick up after that? Like, and what kind of conversations would you have? Like, I don't know. It'd probably be your typical like, so what have you been up to, buddy? And
Yeah.
how's it been with home? And I heard this happened and this happened. I'm so sorry. You know, and secretly Peter knows that Harry's been sick the entire time, but
Sure.
probably he'll do the friend thing and like not say anything just to
Yeah.
not make him uncomfortable.
Try to respect
Uh,
his privacy even though he knows everything.
yeah, probably he's gonna let Harry to come out and say like, "Hey, you know what? I've been sick and I actually didn't travel."
Yeah.
And Peter will be very forgiving at that point, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine so. Um,
Yeah,
unless it just starts off where like Venom's just brutalizing the city and Peter has no idea who it is, and later finds out that it's Harry. That's Venom. It could be like a
exactly.
whole Captain America with the Winter Soldier thing.
Yeah,
Bucky, Harry. Um, but yeah, I mean, like they need to spend a lot of time focusing on that relationship for sure.
I definitely agree. They have to.
So next question
Um,
is from Purple Panther. Do you think there'll be any double boss fights like Peter and Miles against two villains?
you know what? Um, wow, these are really good questions. I never thought of that too because we did have, in a way, double boss fights in the first Marvel Spider-Man game where you fought two bosses at a
Yeah,
time.
but
So
not
having to
two
be
Spider-Men.
partnered up with another hero would be cool.
Yeah, that would be sick. I'm so curious to see if like Craven and Venom are working together. It doesn't sound like it from the first teaser we got. Because then I'd be like, yeah, Craven and Venom like try to take out both the Spider-Men. But I definitely don't see something like that happening.
Yeah. Um, I don't know because yeah, Craven is very independent and he hunts. So like he probably sees Venom as a beast.
Yeah,
So he'd want to hunt Venom down
yeah,
himself, and I don't would
he's a
ever try to
challenge
fight Venom.
for sure. Next question is from Puerco. If you had to pick one idea, just one, that you could 100% have in the game, what would it be?
One idea.
Yep.
I mean, I can't really think of any ideas because like there's so many good ones and a lot of the speculation and theories that I've had already and I made videos on have been all sorts of ideas that I've either found online or I've thought of myself.
Yeah.
Uh, but one to stick with. I think one idea to stick with would be the black suit theory that we were talking about a little earlier about how we can keep the black suit if we're doing a post like a new game file, new
Yeah.
game plus file. When once you're already beaten the game the first time on a
Right.
regular save, you know, that's like one idea where you in the regular save file you don't have the black suit because you didn't do a new game plus, and then you do a new one and then you get the black suit and you keep it. You get it from the beginning and you keep it till the end.
Right. I think if it comes to like just the game in general, not really story related, like I've said it before and I'll say it again, if this game does not have a larger and expanded map, that would be the biggest loss for me. Like I would be pretty upset if the map is not expanded and larger and
Oh,
added more to it. Like that's
oh my god, yeah,
one
that'd be
thing
very
that I'm like,
disappointing.
if that map is not unchanged, that would be pretty devastating for me.
Yeah, because like there's no at this point there's just no excuse. You know, why would you want to play basically the same Spider-Man game with an entirely different story, but the same exact
Yeah.
map a third time? You know, you don't want to do that.
No, I want to see more details. Maybe like subways you can get into, or subway
How
stations.
much needs to
Yeah,
be patched into that game because like we need there's so much more than details. Yeah, more details for sure, different NPCs.
Yeah,
The like New York City needs to be a character on its own,
it
not
does.
with like the repetitive NPC typical phrases that they say.
Yeah.
Hey Spidey, you want to take a picture with my kid? That kind of stuff. Like
The kid
I
that
don't
doesn't
want.
exist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like wait, there are no kids in this game. Um, it's like or like doing different like the same kind of hand gestures with everybody that you expect every single citizen in the entire map to know.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Yeah, but I want a wider variety, not just like the same 15 phrases from the NPCs. And so much work needs to be put into that in order for that to be accomplished.
Like adding in
But
squirrels.
yeah, squirrel number 36, like I said before. Just, me in the corner eating, some nuts and
That's what like
uh
could you imagine
it's,
Insomniac's like, yeah, we need you to record some sounds of you eating some
yeah, I mean,
walnuts for the
yeah, that's no
squirrel.
problem. Yeah, that's no problem. I'd be like, hey, what's up? But if that's my idea of what a squirrel sounds like.
Yeah. Nah, you know what would be cool? This is like we're going back to the whole bit of us being in the game, but just like some dudes or something listening to our podcast, but like through a radio on a rooftop. And they just hear us talking.
Oh my god, like just a regular episode of our podcast on
Yeah, like
YouTube.
some guys just like on the street listening to our podcast or something like that.
It's a little Easter egg right there. I mean, would it be considered Marvel Spider-Man Easter eggs?
I have no idea.
Since we talk about it.
It'd be very
Like
meta.
it'd be very meta. Like this conversation exactly, like just what we just said, like about 20 seconds ago.
Yeah. That'd be
Like
very meta.
it'd be really cool. Like we're on the rooftop, and then like that sentence is being like said as we're swinging by the radio or laptop or something.
This is why we are not game developers, everyone.
Oh my god! Somewhere in like the offices of Insomniac HQ, someone's probably gonna listen to this podcast and be like, "I'm gonna give those
I
boys
hope
a
not.
call."
I hope not.
Yeah, we got a proposition for you that you cannot refuse.
Well, that's going to do it for the questions, and I think it's pretty much going to do it for this episode of our podcast. Hopefully, the next podcast will be us talking about new gameplay or a new trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Definitely. Oh my god, that podcast. If the trailer comes out by then, that podcast would be like amped. Like it'd
Oh,
be very hyper energetic.
yeah. We'll get some other guys on that episode, probably.
Oh my god, yeah, man. We're gonna be talking, and it's not gonna be, it's gonna be very incoherent.
It's going to be a
Like between
12-hour
all,
long episode,
and Evan will like talk throughout the entire episode.
and we'll just listen and be like, that's a great idea.
That's great, but that's great, Evan. But
Where are the squirrels?
no, we love you, Evan. We love Evan. Like
Yeah.
he's a really cool guy. We're just messing with him, obviously.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. You're definitely going to want to go ahead and subscribe to News to Astonish, aka Ronnie, on the episode.
Thank you.
His links to his channel will be down in the description. Like I said, I mean, like, we're going to have more stuff coming. The next episode, the third episode, which hopefully will be a big one, will be on his channel. So that's the best way to keep up with the podcast. I think we're going to be alternating between episodes. So yeah, definitely check him out on social media too. Those will also be linked in the description. Help him get to, what are you trying to get to? 400 followers on Twitter?
Gee, well, I would love to get to like 400 for now because that's like the short term. But
Yeah.
500 would be cool, or even 1,000 because everybody in my circle who does what I do on YouTube has 1,000 plus for whatever reason, and I don't. It's like my Twitter is stagnant. I'm in the 300s forever.
Yeah, that's not good. You guys need to go follow him. If you have a Twitter account, go follow him right away.
Yeah, I post a lot of cool, funny stuff there, and I love to like just tweet out once in a while. Yeah, but definitely give me a follow on my social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. It's under the same name, News to Astonish. That's it, just to make it easy for all of you.
Heck yeah. And you guys can subscribe to me if you're listening for the first time and don't know who I am. I cover Marvel Spider-Man content, and that's pretty much the only thing I talk about on my channel. So subscribe to keep up with all of that good stuff. And that's going to conclude this episode. Thank you so much for your support. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later.
Later, guys.